Hey everybody, today is November 12th. This video, this is gonna be video 290. This video 288 will go out tomorrow, and 289 will go. And tomorrow will be the 13th. 289 will go out the 14th, and so this one will go out on the 15th. So 3 days from now. So it's 12 plus 3 is 15. I'm trying to do that so maybe I can skip the whole in the future kind of mapping all the videos out. So yesterday, basically, we had gone into the scene. We made it to where when we say exponential fog, and then we hit A, and then we have this I that shows up, and we had an alert, but now we have a console log, and we double checked that everything was working. And then today, what I was going to do is I was going to go to Angular Material and do like figure out what the next steps are for a pop-up. And then yesterday, when I was thinking about stuff, I realized, I think I remembered having a pop-up implementation already. And so that is actually, and then this morning, right before this video, I double checked that. And I saw that, yes, I do in fact have one right there. It's next to a little I and everything. So I probably should use whatever we have here, which makes sense, and I'm guessing this is a mat-dialog. We could do an insert. We could probably do, mat-dialog is the kind that it is. So I don't remember exactly how to do this, but it did make me think about how um, there used to be in Angular, modules were sort of a fundamental part of Angular. Like you would have these files, and if you do Angular at all, you probably are and it's still November 12th for you, or it's in 2024, probably even 2025. You definitely know all about modules. If it's say beyond that, like I don't know if modules are going to be um, something that everybody knows about in the future, because they used to be required. Like anytime you built anything, you had to identify what module it was part of, and modules were a great way to sort of architecturally identify, enforce like scoping, and it was great. Like for me, whenever I started a new job, the first thing with an Angular, first thing I would do is look at the packages, see what packages were installed, and then the second thing I would look at is the modules and see how all the modules laid out. But with standalone, when standalone came out, and I believe that was in Angular 17, modules were no longer required. So I do not have any modules in this application, and I did that on purpose. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to learn exactly why modules were necessary. Like sometimes, let me see if I can clean this off. Sometimes, when you have some sort of technology, you just sort of, or some sort of thing, you just kind of take it for granted, and you don't really understand exactly why you're doing it. But this time, it is important that I have my modules, that I have them. Now I'm starting to realize this time I have them. I realize kind of it would really benefit me if I had a module that just had all of the Angular material includes in. So then I could just go back and peruse that and see what Angular material things exist, and that would be really nice. And then I believe all I would have to do is then do this, include my new Angular material module, and then there wouldn't be, how like where I try it and it doesn't work or whatever, like that probably wouldn't be an issue. And if it didn't work, then I could add that, and then that module would be available to all of the components. So I think that is something I want to do. I don't think I want to do it today, because I really want to finish up. We are basically 7 days away from when Angular 19 is supposed to drop, and I would love to have this validation completely done on that so I could focus on upgrading to Angular 19. Whenever a new version of Angular drops, there's a couple things I do. One thing I do is I'll upgrade this. First thing I'll do is I'll create a new. I built a Angular thing, an Angular ThreeJS project in less than 10 minutes. I'll do Angular 19. I have one for Angular 17, which is by far my most popular video by a long shot on this whole channel. And then I did an Angular 18, which was really popular for like 2 weeks. It was the most popular channel video, but then it just dropped. And I do think it's kind of sad because I think that the Angular 18 is a better video, but the Angular 17 is more popular, and I think it's because it has more history. And then I was thinking, oh, I probably should make a playlist just for the I made a video. Just for those three, and every year or every 6 months add a new one for the latest Angular. And then I do have 10 minutes in it, and I think the Angular the last one only took like 6.5 minutes, so maybe I'll add like a couple other items on there with the extra time. But anyways, back to this. So what I need to do probably before I do anything else is figure out how I did that. And there's probably a video about that, and it's probably, I used to do videos in a smart way that I need to go back again, where I would always, for every video, I would do a commit and push. Or I would do a commit, and in that commit, I would say what video I did that code in. So I could go find this, and then I could go watch the video, and that would be pretty cool. But for now, I'm just going to go to the Mesh Manager component, and I'm going to find which field is it? That is the material field. Choose a material. I have my mat hit. Oh, so I have launch material dialog. So I'm probably not going to be too pleased with the way I did this, but I don't know, because I had some specific things I wanted to be able to do. I do notice that I added to the key up enter, so that if you're tabbing through, you can launch it, and I have it on the click. So I think I'll probably follow suit, but let's see how I did that. I wonder what that was about before we go into there. I don't know why it's got this yellow thing in there. Oh. So apparently I guess you could move that whole thing to a new file. I don't know. That's weird. But we were just, my goodness, launch. So I said this dialog open material. Oh, material component. Okay, so I had a materials component that I created. So I pull this in. I'm guessing I've imported this at the top. Yeah. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like this is gonna, well, so I have added the ability, I guess this is probably the data. Config options. So I'm assuming that I could probably add data to the material component, and but I'm also guessing that material component already has all this content locked in. So let's go to this one. Yeah, see, so that was like specific to the mesh manager. I'm not happy with the way I did this. I do not think this is worth following. But it was good to go back and look. And, honestly, probably all I had was the mesh manager when we did that. So it probably didn't make sense to build some big ass thing around there. Big old thing. I'm going to try not to cuss anymore. So Angular material. Oh, we're just going to go ahead and expand that because that site does not do well when it's shut down. All right, so we have this bottom sheet, which I remember is one of the things. And I guess, it's primarily for mobile devices. Yeah, because like on your phone, it'll come up just like phone, just like most things on your phone when I don't even know if it is like that anymore. But it used to be that everything would come up from the bottom, even for regular apps. So, and then there's this dialog, configurable modal displays dynamic content. That's probably what we want to use. I think that is the purpose of this. If like the bottom up works, but it doesn't look like that was what their intention was when they built it. And by they, I mean the people who do Angular material. And like when you use something that works, but it wasn't really their intention, a lot of times you end up unhappy with the results. So let's go ahead and let's go read about dialog. Okay, so this configuration will just give you the height and the width. I want to use a component like this, but I want to pass in the token. So yeah, so that has close, has backdrop is false. So this is probably part sharing data with the component. This is what we need. Okay, so in that config, we can add a data thing. One of them thingies, a JSON object that is assigned to the data attribute, and then I guess in my component I have to import this, and it's an injection token. So I'm curious what ChatGPT will tell me if I say, what is the mat-dialog injection component token? Because I think I understand what a token is, but I'm not 100%. See how I could just hit enter? I can do that when it's full size. Okay, what does this say? Pass data into a dialog component, which we understood that. Okay, so when you open a dialog using a mat-dialog, it provides data through data property, which the dialog component can access via dependency injection using the mat-dialog data. So inject. I wonder if this is the only way you can do this, or if you can use, okay, Angular 18 to inject the dialog data. mat-dialog is injection token in the constructor. So watch this. Like if I make this half size, and hit enter. Oh my goodness. I don't even know. The world makes no sense to me. My understanding of the world is collapsing. In Angular's new, yeah, so that's what I was thinking. We could do what? Accessed through the data property on the dialog component instance. Traditional. What's option 2? Use the direct data. Oh, okay. So I guess for mat-dialog, they magically behind the scenes create a data property. And I guess as long as you define it in there, you can have access to the data, which this is probably where I would want to use. So I want to make a component, a dialog component that's specifically for errors, not errors, information for my uh, validation error system, right? Or and now it's no longer a validation, so it's more of well, it is validation errors, but it's the help text for validation errors, and basically I'll have this little data thing that, and then it'll say like token, and instead of, let's see, where over here, instead of message, that'll be token, and then this will take the token and pass it to it. And then let's go back to our code, see if we can. That's cool how everything just fixed itself. So in our scene manager component over here, so we do already pass the token in, and so this gets a validation token. So we'll just do the mat-dialog that way, where we pass it this validation token, and then it'll look up and it'll just fill it in, and there won't be any special formatting or anything like that. Let's see, 60 minutes. That's a little longer than I'd like to go. Happy coding, everybody. Bye.